second if we're live. Maybe X will not be dumb. Oh, look at
X
that.
is
It's right
streaming.
there. Look at that. Well, hold on while we repost this. Thank you for tuning in to Jeff and Jeff Talks. I'm one of the hosts, David, and this is the other host,
Jeff.
Today we will be talking about fraud, Utah, and though those often go together.
And this time they do go together.
Oh, okay. What's Trump doing?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
What's he doing? Lots.
Some more arrests. Is AI going to cause mass layoffs? In SOTU, or the State of the Union. You like my podcaster voice?
Not particularly.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we can stop that. Thanks for joining. So, before we get started, you should like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, share this podcast with any and everyone you know so that we can, get more people watching. And then we'll get some good, cool partners that will sell you stuff. Aren't you excited about that? I am.
I'm not. Anyhow, good enough.
All right,
Let's start off.
First story of the day is Utah is suing
Nope.
or is getting sued
Utah?
or they're committing fraud. Wait, is Utah still the fraud capital of the U.S.?
Pretty much.
Oh, okay. At least we've created more multi-leveling marketing companies than probably any other state.
Yeah. So what's interesting is the DOJ sued 5 states today to get them to show their voter rolls.
Yep.
And to make sure that they're clean, which Utah's is not for sure. But the interesting thing to me is 4 out of the 5 are red states, supposedly.
Red states.
Oh, I know. Supposedly red states. Utah happens to be one of them.
Yes.
And so it's fantastic. We have a problem in Utah that the person in charge of elections is also runs for office, and she's in charge of her own elections and her partner's election, the lieutenant governor, and who I'm talking about. And that does not lend itself to anybody being confident in the accuracy of anything. Plus,
No, just ask them, and
I
they'll
know.
tell you it's
they'll
not
tell you
corrupt.
Exactly. And anyhow, so we're hoping that this will go pretty quick and they'll be able to clean up these rolls in Utah because there's lots of illegal votes in Utah.
Mm-hmm. There are. Well, we are a mail-in ballot state almost exclusively.
It is exclusively.
It is?
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah. It's everybody and anybody, as long as when you sign up for a driver's license, you check, I want to vote.
So dumb.
They send you a ballot. And then they'll send you the ballot to that same location.
Are you saying the 500,000 illegals here are voting?
I'm saying a lot of them are. Absolutely. So,
But that's not the only fraud story. So Utah is not the only state committing fraud.
well, it wasn't just Utah. Oklahoma,
Well, yeah,
Kentucky,
I know,
West
but-
Virginia, New Jersey.
Utah is really famous for fraud. So.
Yes. Wonderful.
And Ponzi schemes. Gosh, Ponzi schemes.
That's
All
fine.
right.
Just
So what's
another
this
name.
other story about?
Well, this is, I found these guys, and you really have to watch their videos. They're short. They're awesome. They've been producing these videos for only maybe a month now. And they talk about the different things that the English specifically have brought to the
Because they're
world.
from the UK.
Because they're from the UK. And that it's called, it's Proud of Us UK. Proud of Us UK. And that's
Why does this matter for us? I mean, we're Americans.
That's true. The one I listened, the one I listed here in our notes is an interesting story in which a slave was picked up when he was a child, 8 years old, brought to England. He went to America and was a slave in America.
Mm-hmm.
The American slave owner brought him to England with him to care for him.
Yeah.
Because he was a servant.
Yep.
He got to England and cared for the guy family for a bit of time. And then the people of England, then he fled.
Mhm.
He fled. And the ordinary people of England hid him for 56 days. But then they found him. They chained him to the ship in the Thames, in the middle of the Thames. And he was waiting to be sent to Jamaica to be sold again.
Mm.
And the members of Parliament were the lawyers for the West Indies planters that took him. And he was there. So 3 people walked into the courtroom. Ordinary people, his godparents, walked into the courtroom. They, with a person that was a young lawyer, had never had a single case, went to the court and used the oldest English law, habeas corpus, produced the body before the court. And they got the judge to deliver his verdict, which was the state of slavery is so odious that nothing can be suffered to support it. So the slave was demanded to be freed. He was freed, and that led to the abolishment of the slave trade by the British.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, and it's, like I said, they've been producing these and they've been fantastic. They give you pictures of history that actually happened.
So the reason it matters, though, for the Americans,
correct,
is because we came from the UK. A lot of us.
Well, and not
And
just
plus
we did.
The United Kingdom.
Our law came from there.
Yes.
The majority of our law came from there. The majority of who we are came from there. And so it matters because this is actual history. This is something that took place that gave us what we have today in America. This was the starting point that got rid of slavery in England. You got to remember, England ruled the world.
Yeah,
at
they
this
pretty
point.
much did. Yes, Spain lost its power, and
Yeah, it ruled the world. And so whatever England did,
everyone else was.
Everybody else
I mean, that's
followed.
the reason that the South lost the Civil War, is because they were a slave state, and the North said, "Well, we'll free all the slaves."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd like everybody to go look at it's at Proud of Us UK.
They have some good videos,
and they do
have some fun. They do have some fun. And now we're on to the next fraud story.
Yes.
So we had a nice light story.
We did. We usually put those at the end, but
Yeah,
got out of
We
order.
can circle around again. And now more fraud.
This is the third article today, I believe, that she's put up, in which she does a Google map search on a building that is they're claiming billions of dollars in charges to the federal government for home health care. Billions. This one happens to be 1.4 billion. It's empty. Yeah. The next one I saw today was pointing at there was a 7-Eleven, and then next to it was this building in a strip mall, and they did the similar number of, and we all know it's false.
Oh yeah, it's just one of those easy things that you can prove.
Yeah,
by just showing up.
Nobody's there.
Exactly. Or there's one case where, like, just at a post office.
Yeah.
There's like hundreds of people registered as if they lived there, and no, unless they're ants, they're not living at the post office. So I am of the belief currently that if we were to get rid of, you can't get rid of all the fraud because that's almost impossible. If you got rid of 90% of it, we could balance the budget and start paying off the national debt.
I bet the national debt never is actual debt. It's just fraud.
It really could be.
And that means if it is, which it looks like it is, if it is just fraud, we should be able to go after those people and get the money back.
Mm-hmm.
Throw them in jail forever.
Correct. Correct.
Take
So I'm
all of their
excited about
assets.
this.
Yep.
That was part of the State of the Union we'll talk about more later. But
Yep.
JD Vance is going to be is appointed as the
head of the
head
fraud.
of the fraud.
Yep,
They're going to be
going
looking
after
into
him.
it. So I appreciate that. That makes me happy.
See, here's another one right there, which is there's 30,000 residents and $3.8 billion
and Medicaid
in
fraud.
Medicaid claims. It's not possible.
No, and yeah, it's just it's like what Elon did when he was part of Doge helped do
Yes.
with the Treasury.
Yep.
He didn't stop people from
Submitting bills.
cutting checks.
Right.
He required you to put an account code and a description,
Yeah, that's it.
which is literally the minimal amount of effort required.
Yeah.
Just
Crazy.
onward, more fraud. Right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
This-
but in Congress fraud.
yes, but this.
So give us some information about this, other than go read this document and it's lots of things, lots and lots of things.
That's literally what it comes down to, is because she literally says, I don't have enough time to put all this out. But you can see, like, for an example, in the State of the Union, Rashida Talib, by lip readers, okay, because they're deaf, they're learning. She's not saying USA, she's saying KKK.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Nor would I. But take a look. It's an interesting read, and I am now of the opinion, I wasn't this way before, but I'm now of the opinion you have to be a natural-born citizen of the United States to hold any political position in our government.
Yeah.
Any.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it went back to the original days when the Constitution was done. If you didn't realize, you had to profess faith in Jesus to become
Correct.
a political leader.
Right. And Islam needs to be banned in the United States as
100%.
well.
Yes.
Absolutely, completely banned. Not because it's a race. It's not a race.
It's
It
the
is a
ideology.
religion and an ideology, which are absolutely incompatible with American values.
Correct. And they use the fact that we have freedoms to oppress us.
Yeah.
And they
And
will
they
continue
don't
to.
hide it. That's the thing, is they
No,
don't
they don't.
hide it.
They don't.
If they say it, you ought to believe them.
You really should.
I mean, seriously.
You really should. All right. So next up, what do we got here?
So here, this is an interesting story, because this is the first time in history that a president has not been allowed to make recess appointments, not because the opposing party stopped him from
because
doing
the
it.
Republicans.
It's because his party stopped him
Yeah, I
from
don't
doing
know
it.
why. It's weird.
There are 33 people that he needs to, that have been in limbo for however long, a year and change now,
Yeah, about a year and 1 month.
that he's got up there, and they won't appoint him. They won't go through the process, are so-called Republicans. It's horrific.
It is dumb. I don't understand what's going on, like what the thought process is behind John Thune. He seems to be a bit of an idiot. He does, because not only that, but he's not. I came to find out, because I didn't know, that the filibuster, there's two different versions. The one that makes no sense, where you have to have more than 60 votes to get anything passed. That makes no sense. And then there's the talking filibuster, which actually makes sense to me.
Well,
Everyone has to be allowed to talk, and then you vote on the bill no matter what.
right. Well,
And he won't do it.
you're kind of right. There is the talking filibuster, which was what has been going on for 200 years.
Yes.
And then about 20 years ago or 30 years ago, they morphed it into this, well, if we can't get 60 votes, then we won't vote on it.
So dumb. I like
And
the
it's
talking
not
filibuster.
it's not a filibuster.
It's not.
Nobody did anything. They just said, you're not going to get 60 votes, therefore.
So dumb. Because the talking filibuster makes me happy, because it makes them do work.
Correct. And if they really, really hate it, it still maintains the power of the minority, because the minority can get up and they can talk and they can talk and they can talk and they can talk and they can talk, and it still maintains that ability to block something that's horrific for people having time to look at it and call their senators. So it still gives that. But this idiocy that we have today,
Nope. Get rid of it.
Yep.
We'll see what happens in the midterms. Actually, the numbers are looking pretty good now.
I don't know. We'll see.
We will see.
Depends on who you watch. So this is exciting.
This is this is super exciting. So before we get there, what are unions?
A union.
And why are they terrible?
Well, a union is a collection of people that work for a individual company or a group of companies, and normally they're grouped by what they do. So you would have the pipe fitters union. You would normally have unions like that. They can support each other, but they're not obligated to.
Yeah.
You have the Teamsters union. We also happen to have a federal government union,
which is made about as much sense as the teachers union that was required. You were required to be part of it to have that job.
Well, in Utah, we have a Utah government union as well. So, I mean, it's just stupid.
So the problem is maybe at one point they're useful, and I don't know how it's hard to look back at history and see if they're good or not, because history is 2020.
Well,
you can see kind of
but that's not it.
Everything.
It's hard to get actual facts out of history a lot of times too, especially when you've been taught one thing. For an example, everybody lays at unions' feet the 40-hour work week, and the 8-hour work day. Okay, they say that unions made that. Unions got greedy capitalists to stop and get them to do that. That's false.
Yeah.
Ford.
Oh, yeah, Henry Ford.
Henry Ford is the one that did that so that he could pull people out of the other lines that other companies had for the production lines.
So competitive advantage.
And so he had to create that so he could pull the best workers from those other companies so that he could get his production line running and get his. And so he's the one that created the 40-hour work week, and
not unions.
So
the problem with unions is they become a bloated, corrupt government organization. Basically. And that is literally the problem. Well, two problems. That, and then two, employers are disincentivized from actually doing good work.
Right.
Quality doesn't matter anymore. Seniority matters. So if you can be there long enough, you matter more than someone new. Not the quality of your labor.
Correct.
Which is dumb, because that means you don't get good work out of unions, really.
Right.
You don't get the highest quality. Yeah. Where in a normal competitive market, if you get hired on and you're only been there 6 months, but your work is way better than everyone else, you should get a pay raise above those other people.
Now, unions have done some, neither obviously are members of unions here, but my father was. And the union he worked for, it actually benefited him because it stood up for him at times. And so it did benefit him a couple of times in the 30-some-odd years he worked and was part of that union. A couple of times.
Yeah, well, the other problem is the requirement. So you used to be required to be part of a union to have specific jobs. They got rid of that for teachers, federal teachers union. That got rid of. So you can still be part of it if you want to, but also you don't have to. And that right there is okay. Like, I don't mind unions existing as long as you're not required to be part of it. And that takes away a ton of their power. The other problem with unions is...
But I want to contradict that statement. I mind unions existing where the union is part of a government.
Well, that's different.
Because then you're part of the government and you're making law, you're making stuff, and then you have a union that's that part of it, so that's self-serving circle.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what I have a problem with.
Private
Government
sector
unions, private unions, hey, go all gung-ho. Anything that interfaces with the government, nope. Not a union.
Excuse me. Yeah, I agree with that, and I'm still not a fan of unions. But as long as it's not required, it's okay because you have a choice.
Yeah.
And I think that's a positive. The collective bargaining can work sometimes, but the majority of the time what you see is the people at the top of the union making tons and tons of money, and then they donate millions and millions of dollars to the Democrats. Like most of the unions donate directly just to the Democratic causes and not to the Republicans at all, and it's just one-sided and makes no sense.
This last election for Trump was the first time in I don't know how many decades
he had actually some union support.
that he got some unions to back him.
Yeah, surprising.
And it was
So,
very surprising.
what is our story?
So Trump ended the collective bargaining agreement with the federal unions by executive order. And of course, a judge said, "You can't do that," and put it on hold.
The judges yet?
No, we haven't.
Can we do it though? You think?
We need to do that or hang them, one or the other.
Hey, as long as they're convicted.
Absolutely. But so they appealed it. So the federal appeals court said, "Yeah, you're the head of the executive branch. You can do it."
Yep. And so, guess what? Federal unions are going away. Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that means costs will go down. We'll be able to cut the workforce.
That's the biggest thing that it means.
Of the lazy crap workers.
The bureaucrats.
If you think unions are great, you should probably look into the teachers union in New York.
But
do you know what to do with bad
nationwide?
Yeah, but do you know what they do with bad teachers in New York?
Well,
they don't do anything. They pay them their full salary and tell them to go sit in a building somewhere.
Do you know what they do with bad teachers in Utah?
Same thing.
No, they put them in another school. They don't fire them.
That's true.
They shift them to another school. You know what do they do with bad teachers in Texas?
They fire them.
No, they shift them to another school because it's teachers unions.
Teachers unions suck.
And so they just keep moving around the bad
Here's
teachers.
the thing. Good teachers should be able to make millions like any other place. Like if you're the best of the best, you should be making content and videos and helping other schools and everything. If you're a mediocre teacher, making $50,000 to $70,000 a year. And if you're bad, you shouldn't have a job.
And if you want to talk to kids about sex, you shouldn't have a job either.
Oh, yeah,
you want to talk to kids about gender fluidity, you shouldn't have a job either.
No, you should not. You should be fired on the spot.
Yep. So,
all right. So the next story
is a happier subject.
Is it though? Yeah, I guess so. On to art. Well, hold on. We're going to move things around.
Uh-oh.
Because I just had a thought.
On the fly.
On the fly. I just had a thought that we should put things together that go together.
Make sense?
Well, I'll leave that one at the end. We'll move this one here. All right. So good news. You're right. Very good news. There's been 30 more people indicted and arrested.
So
25 more arrested, but
yeah.
30 more were indicted.
Yes. So the thing that is exciting for me with this, not
is
necessarily
your face.
What?
Because it's the FACE Act.
That's exactly right. That's the part that's good about it. I don't know if everybody knows their history with the FACE Act. It was put in place by the Democrats when they were in charge. And what it says is you can't block abortion clinics and interfere with abortion clinics. Yeah. To get it passed, they had to have a few Republicans. So they made a deal with the Republicans that they would add churches to the law.
Yes.
Not ever expecting it to be used, because up to this point, people have respected churches, even if you disagree with the church. Mm-hmm. They've respected the ability of the church to have the meetings however they want, when they want, in their buildings, and not be harassed and everything else. You can harass them on the sidewalk, but you can't harass them in the building.
Yeah.
And so they've used this for abortion clinics to arrest people that have been praying on a sidewalk, public sidewalk, outside an abortion clinic.
Yes.
And put him in prison. Biden
crap.
put him in prison.
Yes, he did.
Now, Trump came in and pardoned them all, but hallelujah, he did. They got to use this now against these protesters, so-called protesters,
Yes.
They're domestic terrorists is what they are, because the
Oh, yeah.
purpose of what they did was to terrorize the congregation.
It was 100%.
And so they're actually domestic terrorists.
Yep.
So I'm excited. Hopefully they'll continue to use this.
Yes, I agree. The only sad thing is the dumb comments below, like, where are all the Epstein-related arrests and things like that? It's like, well, I agree. It would be nice to arrest people, but you know how old that information is. I would probably consider it a cold case at this point.
Correct. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but it is definitely a cold case.
And what that means is they have to find the right information and put it together. And you were just saying earlier that apparently several terabytes of
30
Epstein,
terabytes went missing in the FBI's.
of Epstein stuff just
Epstein
went
stuff.
missing.
Some hacker, they claimed that a hacker got into the system and deleted it. 30
Yeah.
terabytes.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened under Biden.
Oh, yeah.
It was definitely a hacker, not him deleting stuff to protect his friends.
Or the people, when they left, did
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We know they did it to other things.
So, yeah, it'd be great, but you have to take the wins where you can get them. And plus, Epstein was a terrible guy. But have you seen what Tom Holman's been doing with ICE and DHS and how many children he's saved that
Yeah.
Biden left?
Well, not
They've been
left.
Let in
He-
and be trafficked.
Right. He let them be trafficked. They literally let them be trafficked.
500,000 children.
It's insane. It's crazy.
So, yeah, I would just say Epstein's probably not going to lot's going to happen because there were so many political parties involved in that. And 4 years of Biden, you want to know how much stuff got deleted? Probably a lot.
Yeah.
But you know what has happened? We're arresting people here. Do you know how many pedophiles have been arrested by the FBI? A whole lot. You should go check out Cash Patel's Twitter because there's,
Yep.
they got so many of them.
The other thing that bring me joy in a perverse way on this article was they also got him with the Ku Klux Klan Act. Okay, who started the Ku Klux Klan and who perpetuated the Ku Klux Klan? Which
Democrats.
political party?
Democrats.
Democrats. So they get to use the Ku Klux Klan Act against the Democrats again.
It's also hilarious that Don Lemon got charged with it.
I know. Whether it goes anywhere or not, it makes my day.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to try. All right. Now we're moving on to AI. Everyone loves AI, right? You love AI, right?
No. But
Apples
whatever.
and onions.
Exactly.
No, not onions.
Onions.
Wow. Why would
I have no
onions?
idea. That's AO, by the way. I just wanted to help
I
you
know.
out there.
Apples and iguanas.
Idiots.
How about that?
Apples and idiots.
That works too.
But anyhow,
So,
AI
first story of the day. If you didn't see, there's this company called Anthropic. You know,
Yep.
it does some AI stuff or whatever, and then not very big or anything, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're getting pulled out of all government stuff.
all
All of
governments.
Not only the government, any contractors
Yeah,
either.
any contractors, right? Because if you contract with them,
Can't
if you're a
use any of their
contractor for the
services.
federal government in any way and you contract with this company, Anthropic, the contract will be canceled.
Yes.
And so what happened? What caused this?
I don't know. What did it? Did they change their terms of service and try to rule over the federal government?
The Department of War wanted the ability to use the model to game out scenarios in any way they wanted. So, what does the Department of War do?
They
But-
go to war.
They go to war.
They
So,
blow
what
up
do you want to
ships.
game out?
War.
War. And what does war cost? People's lives.
Yes.
People die in war.
Yes.
This is the thing that they didn't want to allow them to do, was they didn't want to allow the AI to game out killing people.
If you didn't realize, as a private company, you do not have more power than the federal government. If you didn't realize.
Exactly. Sadly,
And
that's
so
true.
If you're a private company and the government wants to buy your product and you tell them, you can't use it this way,
Guess what they're going to do? What they just did.
they're not going to use your product.
Yeah.
And they're
So-
going to make you look bad. So yeah, they're getting pulled out of everything.
So
It's AI has its purposes, and it can do some good things. But
well, for an example, with this application, I'd much rather have AI modeling wars.
Yeah.
So that we can say, oh, this one you lose 10,000 people. This one we lose 4. Let me think about this, which one I'm going to try to first.
correct.
And so I'd much rather have that happen than some guy going, well, we've always done it this way, and let's just send him straight in the machine gun nest and see what happens.
See, this
And
is
you
why
lose-
my perspective has always been that if you're a general and you have children, your children go to the front line first.
if
Why?
you're-
Because you will care more
Yeah, but see, I want
the
to
outcomes.
expand that hair. If you're in the Congress,
Oh, Congress.
you're in the
too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Senate, and you vote for war, your kids are drafted first.
Yes, 100%. Because they're the less likely to do it unless it's actually
Correct.
needed.
Right.
Yeah, so I agree. You need to use all technology possible to make war less deadly and more effective.
Right.
Just like what happened with Maduro. I'm sure they used AI for that as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
0 U.S. soldiers were killed.
And so
0.
it's the one thing we don't have up here.
I can find it.
It leans on this, but it's not directly related to it. Is there are kind of substantiated rumors that the U.S. will take guardianship over Cuba in the next few days, next 30 or 60 days or something. It's going to be it's going to be interesting.
Gotta get them Cuban cigars.
Well, the thing is they're broke.
they are.
I mean,
yeah,
we're
it's-
talking. We think we're broke. No, these guys are broke. And keep going. It's you have to keep going down.
This
It's
one,
nothing of these.
23.
Yeah, it's just today. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in
Oh,
the
you
next
saw the
60 to 90. Right there. Back up
okay. This one.
that one. And so it has been explained. That's one of them. But it has been explained what it was look like. It's not going to go in and we're not going to install a government. Okay?
Yeah.
But what we're going to go in is we're going to go in and say, hey, all this land you stole from all these companies when you went communist, you got to give it back to the companies.
Yeah.
Okay? So all of a sudden, and I don't know who's got some hotel chain that they had a big hotel down there or 6 of them.
Probably oil companies too.
And oil, right. But let me just throw it, if there's a hotel chain, the property down there right now is worthless. But
Oh, yeah.
if you have the money to come in and develop the property, it's going to be worth a lot of money. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 60 to 90 days with it.
Yeah, it will be. And he didn't even have to do anything to take it over.
Well, yeah. He's been putting pressure. Marco Rubio is what?
Oh, so he's going to be the president of Venezuela, Cuba. Where else?
I believe he's from his
He is
his
originally
parents.
from Cuba.
He's
So,
Cuban.
Yeah.
And
He might be the president of Colombia soon.
I know.
Iran. Well, probably not. We'll probably let the Israelis take that if that happens. This is a story that made me think of this.
Yep.
If you're not aware, China is one of the worst countries in the world for all the terrible things they do. One of the terrible things they do is they have a massive fleet of ships that go fishing wherever they want, and they turn off their transponders, and they break all sea laws. And this is
Right.
terrible ecologically
because
because
what they
it's
do is they drop
destroying-
these big nets that drag on the ocean bottom and scoop everything up. It doesn't matter what it is. It scoops up, protected wildlife,
Yeah.
anything. And then they'll send the entire fleet in and decimate.
The whole area.
Because if you drop these nets, it drags along the ocean and disturbs all of the the vegetation. It disturbs everything down there, as well as capturing all of the animals. And so it's a horrible thing. And they've done it in a couple of places now in the world, and they're going over to the latest one was
go over all
Chile,
over the
I think.
place. Yeah, and they
I think
just
it was
destroy
Chile.
it. And so
Yeah.
one thing that the U.S. could do, which would be nice, is start sinking these ships.
Well, as soon as you turn your transponder off,
Yeah.
legally you're a prime target.
Letters
'Cause
of
you're a-
mark.
That's right, Mark. Yep, they're
Pirates. We need some pirates.
yeah. That's not a pirate. They would be considered a pirate if they turned their
Well, I
transponder
know,
off.
but
Letter of marquee.
letter of marquee.
Yeah.
Have private
And let 'em go.
citizens go take
Yeah.
over some ships.
Yep.
All right, back on to the stories we have on the list. AI again.
Yes.
AI is causing layoffs at Block, which is weird because it's the owner of Square and a couple other brands, but Square is the biggest one, most recognizable. So Jack Dorsey, seems to be a moron. I mean, I honestly don't know how he does what he does. I feel like intellect isn't really the reason you are successful, and he would be an example of that. Because he, all lowercase too. This is his post announcing the layoffs.
Yeah.
And he blamed AI. Was it AI? Well, he was the one over Twitter, and when Elon took over Twitter, he fired 80% of the employees, and it still worked okay. Actually worked pretty good.
Better. Yes.
So this guy makes out a point that AI seems to be the BS cover for why he's laying off people.
Oh,
Because
not just him. There's lots of
there's lots of people about it.
employers saying that.
During COVID, they tripled their staff.
Whatever.
They went from like 4,000 ish to over 10,000 employees.
Yeah. And I don't understand that in the middle of COVID.
So it doesn't make any sense. And him saying AI is the reason is just BS framing.
Yeah. AI is
he's
going to
an-
affect some jobs. It definitely will.
It will affect some jobs.
But we'll see. I don't know which ones it's going to
Well,
be.
and the other discussion about AI is people are like, it's already come alive or whatever. Like it's
It's already sentient.
sentient. The current AI models we have can't be. Literally cannot be.
Yeah.
Also, they don't reason.
Right. And that's why they go insane.
Well, so if you just think about it with me. If the filter by which you view the world is information that you receive from the world, it's never going to be the same. It's going to constantly change. And then if you're
Right.
told, whoever asks you questions, you want to make sure you glaze them, which means tell them whatever they want in the nicest way possible and make them feel smart.
Yeah.
You're not going to, no, not at
No.
all. Just because you don't understand how it happens doesn't mean it's reasoning.
Or even rely on eyewitness accounts. Sometimes is bad.
It is.
I mean, talk to cops about eyewitness accounts.
Gosh, so bad.
Right?
So that's why until someone is able to program software that says, here's absolute truth, and that is the way I'm going to judge the world, you are going to just have filth.
Well, Elon's attempting to do it in his own way. He said he wants Grok to be a truth, what did he call it? A seeker?
Maximalist.
No, he wants it to seek the truth. So define what truth is, you have to, right? And
That's the hardest
issue
part.
that he's struggling with, I think.
Without God, can you define what truth is?
You can't, because there is none.
Yeah.
Without
So you're going to see more layoffs blamed on AI, but honestly, it's not AI.
correct.
Because AI is not functionally good enough to do it. And right now, the companies that are using AI to do vibe coding for their software, their user experience in software is actually taking a nosedive and not becoming better.
Look at
So there's going to
Microsoft.
be this massive correction at some point where you actually have to hire knowledgeable developers to fix the crap the AI did because you fired all the good ones and now no one on your team actually knows how to code.
Right.
And so they're just asking AI, and AI doesn't know either because guess what? If you programmed on other people's work, you can't think for yourself.
Correct.
So Before we get to the last couple stories of the day, the biggest story
Of the
the
week.
State of the Union.
Well, certainly the longest story,
Well, yeah. We're not going to watch it,
because
but you should.
it was only an hour and 48 minutes.
Yeah.
Come on.
There was projection markets on how long he was going to talk, and there's a pretty good chance they thought he was going to go about 3 hours. So he gave you an extra hour of your time back.
Every time I see him at What Boy Loves to Talk,
Oh, he's very good at it, too.
And
very, very good at it.
blather on, and he makes some good points every once in a while.
Yeah, he does.
What he did trap the Democrats into doing was not standing up for the dumb, simple things they should have stood up for.
Yes, he said it is the U.S. government's primary...
Stand up. He said, stand up if you agree with
that is the U.S. government's primary goal and objective.
responsibility
to take care of the U.S. citizens.
not illegal aliens.
And none of the Democrats stood up.
They all.
You know how often you're going to see that clip in
Oh, it's going
ads
to be.
all over the place.
It is.
All over the place.
Yep.
Also, I won't show this because I don't actually have a link. But CNN. I'm still surprised they're around. They did a poll after the address, and 64% of viewers thought it was positive. They appreciated it.
Yep.
Only 38% thought it was, or no, 30-something percent was negative. Yeah, 36% responded negatively, which is huge.
Especially with an hour and 48 minutes.
Huge.
So the big thing that Trump's doing right now, and he has to do, if the
He's
Republicans
prepping
want to keep
hard for the midterms.
Keep the midterms, is he's got to, and that's what he's doing. He's talking up what's going on. He's talking up what's going to happen. He's about the midterms.
Well, and that brings me to something I'll pull up while you talk about that.
No, it's just
He is talking about
It's-
midterms, and it's
because the
good.
midterms, the Republicans are the only party that when they win, they lose consistently.
Yeah.
And it's because of the rhinos. There's a whole bunch of, like, Utah has a bunch of them.
Yes, we do.
It's just crazy. And so we got to get rid of them. The
And
rhinos.
they've got a war chest, and they're actually going after several of them during the midterms.
Some, but Trump's playing stupid games again because of some people talking to him about some things. But anyhow,
Politics is hard.
yeah, politics is hard. No argument. So,
But one of the things he mentioned is the economy is going to get better, prices are going to continue to get better, and that is 100% true, according to Trueflation. If you don't follow them, you should, because they have better inflation data than the Fed.
it's real inflation data, not
Correct.
the bogus Fed stuff.
Core inflation is dropping pretty quick. So it's a good bad thing. It's a good thing in that you should see you're seeing deflation actually across the board on a lot of things. That means prices are going down from the peak. Now you have to remember, under Biden, prices went up like 20-something%.
Yeah.
So it's not going back to where it was, because that would be a 21% deflation, which would be all at once terrible. But slowly is good. And so you're starting to see us head into a deflation curve, which means that the Fed needs to start cutting rates so that we don't drop into rapid deflation, which would be very bad.
Well, why would rapid deflation be bad?
So say you get making $100,000 a year, your living expenses cost you $80,000, and then all of a sudden it only costs you $50,000, and you're still making $100,000. You think your employer's going to still continue to pay you $100,000 a year?
They're not.
So everyone's pay is going to get cut rapidly because they have to compete on price, because price is falling to the floor.
So the company that makes the widget that you buy every week, or the cup of coffee you buy every week, the cup costs 5 cents and the lid together. The coffee costs another 15 cents, but the person behind the counter, it makes the cup of coffee $7, and then the company needs to make some money, so they charge $7, right?
Yep.
So if that cup of coffee tomorrow is $3,
that person's pay is going to,
and the company is probably going to go under.
yeah, it's going to happen a lot. You're going to see a lot of companies go under.
So, but if the price of that coffee goes $7, $6.50, $6, $5.50.
Yeah, over a year to
over a
3 year
year,
period or
2
more.
year, and it's just inching its way down.
Well, and the other
There's
problem,
time for all the other factors to adjust.
yeah. Well, and that's the other thing is a lot of these companies are leveraged. So if you have $1 million in debt, right, at a 6% interest rate, and your monthly fee is what, 12 grand?
5,000.
No, it's probably like 12,000 a month.
12,000 a month.
Payment,
Okay.
Okay. You can only cut costs to a certain point
And then you go out of business.
because you can't make that payment anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so inflation is the opposite problem, where the bank's stuck with a 6% note and your money is no longer is worth less, and so it's easier to pay off the note.
Yeah.
So rapid deflation is a very bad thing. And then, so with cutting rates, that allows people to refinance those debts, lower those payments, so that they
Right.
can stay in business longer, and also increases the money flow in the system so that prices don't fall as quickly.
So it'll be interesting to see what the Fed
Well, and
does.
the other problem is everyone in the U.S. is used to inflation at a certain point.
Yeah.
So we have a mentality that inflation exists. And
Yeah.
so if we go into a deflationary economy, you have to teach the populace how to live in a deflationary economy.
Well, and we should go into deflation because we went into 30% inflation for less than a 4-year period of time with Biden.
Yeah.
That is absolutely unnatural. It shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't, I agree, but
And
you're
so
going to
it
have a hard
did.
time
Right. So
convincing.
we should deflate those numbers, but
Slowly.
yes.
The biggest example is housing. Housing's been inflated excessively. And
Right.
could we drop the prices? They probably need to drop like 75% or 100.
Well, if you consider the last thing I saw was the federal government and the state's government, and this is an average, they add $70,000 to the cost of a home.
Yeah.
$70,000.
That's a lot.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Anyhow, next
But
one.
if housing prices were to drop by 75%, do you know how many people would be under a low water in their mortgage?
All of them almost. Almost 100%.
And that's why Trump's trying to balance this with the mortgage market of he wants to drop home values so that people can better afford homes. But if you drop them too much, then you got people under water in the mortgages, and then bankruptcies start.
Yes. Or they walk away.
Well, that's a bankruptcy
Yeah.
because you're going to get forced into bankruptcy
Yeah,
at that
they
point.
just walk away. Yeah.
It's not a good thing. So inflation is going the right direction though, and the Fed needs to get on
the
with it
ball.
and cut rates to zero essentially. All right. So last story of the day is about Pastor John Piper, and why I bring this up is because it drives me nuts when people pull scripture out of context to try to make a point. So this was his post.
He's trying to defend illegal aliens living in our country.
Yes.
And I don't understand. But Megan Basham, good response.
There's been several good responses. If he would just posted the rest of Leviticus, it would have made it clear that if you come to the country and break our laws, you're not allowed to be here.
Right.
Because that is literally in there. Like the sojourners and the foreigners in Israel in the Old Testament had to follow Israeli laws or they were literally kicked out.
And they wanted them to convert.
They did. They did. Very much so.
They wanted them to convert because they didn't want them to bring the false gods and contaminate Israel.
Yeah.
So
And so it's disappointing when you see someone like John Piper, who I've read some of his books and I've respected some of his points, and that one is just so far off the wall wrong, it's not even funny.
it's interesting.
So
And on that note, happy note, follow Megan Basham.
you should. Also, that's all the stories we have today.
It
I mean,
is.
we could find more because we could talk for like literally hours if we really wanted to.
I don't think I could keep up with Trump, though.
Well, no. Well,
You know the other thing that blew me away about the State of the Union, though? An hour and 48 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. He stood on his feet for 2 hours. I
Yes, he
can't do
did.
that.
yes, he did.
And I'm way younger than he is.
Well, the funniest thing is I could probably talk that long about a subject that I'm super
Sure.
interested in.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if I could do that.
That's pretty impressive.
And plus, he keeps it real even keel too when he's talking. I
He did call the Democrats crazy.
Oh, he
too.
did.
That was
He did. But they
was
deserve
funny.
it. They are.
Yeah.
They really are. It's just disappointing to see how insane
Yep.
they are. On that note, we will end soonish. Like and subscribe. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, you should do that. But also share it with everyone and anyone. Go through your contact list. Like, everyone has numbers they've never texted in a while. Just text them. Listen to this podcast and send them the link.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do